ahead and go with now. We'll start here. If we want to go ahead and go with the level up content, all we gotta do is just follow this whole storyline. This woman then told a story about how she basically she has been in relationship after relationship, and here she is, making content about for women about basically how to level up, right? So in this first video, she's talking about how she got with her current husband.
I didn't agree, and we both were, we were talking, but then for some reason we kind of stopped talking for a little while, and we both were dating other people and doing our own thing, and then I had gotten into a serious relationship with somebody, and I ended up falling for the girlfriend trap. But that guy had really been investing a lot into me and doing a lot for me, so I kind of felt like I had to agree to be his girlfriend because he asked me multiple times, and I finally agreed. So after me and him broke up, well, let me rewind. So me and him ended up breaking up because he just didn't really vibe with my oldest son, who was 5 at the time. I could tell that he was really just putting up with my kids. He didn't really embrace them. Um, Sometimes, we as mothers can tell like someone's just being nice to our kids for the purpose of being with you, and they're not necessarily invested in your kids themselves. And that's what I felt like from him. So it just didn't feel good. It didn't feel like a family, the kind of family that I was wanting. So I ended up breaking up with him, and we were living together. I know. We were living together, and I just like packed all my stuff and left. And it was crazy because the next day, my husband, my now husband, reached out to me and was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I told him, I just got out of a relationship, and I kind of told him a little bit about why. And he was telling me like, "Oh, those are my boys," and he had genuinely really connected with my kids, and he was not the kind of man that was just being nice to them to get to me. Like, it was very genuine. And
So let me help you understand what happened. What happened was basically she found the reason to discard the guy that she was with. So throughout that video, she talks about different relationships, and not that you're a bad person because you've been to multiple relationships, but you gotta understand that breakups are traumatic. There's no such thing as having a breakup and it's not traumatic or it's not hard on you. You know what I mean? It's not stressful if y'all really cared about one another. Well, at least it'll be stressful from one part. At least from one side, that one side is actually like really going through it. Maybe not the other side, but at least one of y'all is, right? Because it's a normal thing. But women are not meant to like have multiple relationships, and they don't carry any baggage from another relationship or no grief, no bad habits, or no anger. There's always something, all right. Which is why it's harder to be in a relationship with a woman who's older, who's already had kids or already had relationships. For the most part, most women can do like one. I think that's why a lot of people who've been married more than once, they get married like 3 or 4 times. Because like they don't necessarily they can get married, but they can't really stay in a relationship. And either way, there's a few things to be said about this right here before we get to the end game. So
and that was one of the things that I really loved about him. That was something that stood out about him versus the other men that I had dated, was he really embraced the fact that I had children because he wanted children. And
like I was saying before, I don't think any of these stories are meant to be sharing her personal life with you. She's also creating a storyline that she knows that single mothers buy into, and she understands a lot of y'all. First of all, black women really like the concept and the idea of being able to make mistakes, but not necessarily having to learn from the mistake and not do it again, and admit that hey, I really screwed up there. I really screwed up. Like you know, earlier. I'm gonna tell you, I had a car accident earlier, and I'm gonna tell you about it. It's a crazy experience, but I'm not gonna talk about it right now. But she knows who her audience is, just like Ashley Dalton knows who her audience is. And let me just share one more time the other kind of content she makes.
So I wanted to come on and weigh in on this Kiki Palmer baby daddy situation. And it's short and sweet. If he really wanted to have some kind of say over what this woman is doing, then he would have put a ring on it. And the only reason he didn't put a ring on it is because he's insecure, because he's not high value compared to her. So ladies, if I ever catch you dating down, minus 10 points. Because as soon as a real high value man comes around, your little low value whatever is gonna start whining like a little baby.
So that's one video. That's my first time seeing that one. Oof,
I'm gonna give you one more time.
My lease is ending.
Hi ladies. Hi Trophy. I don't even know where to start. When I changed her, she was daughter.
So this is her viral video called "I Married a Monster," and she's telling a story about basically some essay going on from the man that she married and her child. The story has a lot of holes in it, but if we take it on face value and just believe everything she's saying in so many words, it basically says, "Yo, listen, this level up stuff is demonic, and you're gonna wind up having demonic outcomes." Well, on the flip side, no, I'm gonna let her talk a little bit. Hold on, go ahead.
Daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and I noticed that when I changed her, she was red and very sensitive. And immediately, my first thought was, did someone touch her? Oh God. Felt like my world ended. Started trying to think of how I could get my kids out of the house. Because I knew if I confronted him or asked him about it, that he would just lie.
So, I don't want to get into the whole thing. That story is very. I mean, they are allegations. I mean, I don't know if anyone has the police report or anything. Because I mean, like, yo, we're at a point where we've seen enough online to know that you can't believe anything you hear online. I brought up the whole thing about the discard because that's a narc behavior, a narcissistic behavior. Let me pull the definition of a discard. I'll find a good one.
Are all narcissists afraid of being alone? No, not all narcissists are afraid of being alone, especially the malignant and the grandiose types. They're afraid of being without supply. So they would replace you instantly the moment they get to know you're about to leave them or the dynamic is about to change. They would leave you first before you leave them. What they're afraid of the most is not having anyone to depend on, not having any source of supply available in addition to you. What they're also terrified of is the absolute indifference. They would not be able to survive if everyone were to forget them. They live through people's awareness of their malignance and grandiosity. Quite the opposite, they put the fear of abandonment in you so that you do not leave them, and they have an unlimited source of supply available at all times. What are your experiences with this? Let me know in the comments. Are all narcissists afraid of being
He's talking about supply, right? So what he basically says that basically a narcissist or a person that's engaged in a narc mindset, what's going on with them is that in their mind they have rationalized that it's okay to use someone for what they can do for you. All right, and to again to have relationships that are not mutually beneficial, or you only think relationships are worthwhile if they're only beneficial to you. All right. What a narcissist. So this card is when a narcissist has found a new source of attention, a new source of basically someone or something to feed their ego, and then in that regard, they're comfortable with never talking to you again, and basically completely disconnecting with you at a moment's notice. That is not normal. It's not okay. Friends don't do that. People who love each other do not do that. What I really think may be going on with the trophy wife is that, and I really hope that this is the case because that story is freaking horrific. She wants to discard this man because she more than likely has BPD. Go look up what BPD is. It's borderline personality disorder, and it's when a person has an intense fear of abandonment and they find reasons to abandon and exit people's lives. And they basically they're known for basically having relationships and suddenly ending relationships at a moment's notice. You know what I mean? Or always looking to sabotage their own relationship out of fear of being broken up with, or out of fear of being rejected. Where they experience rejection in a really intense way. But they usually will respond to things in ways that are not emotionally appropriate. It doesn't really make sense, right? So I think that's what may be going on here. And what's interesting is that if you package something correctly, people will buy it. People buy into women like this. That's a beautiful woman. People will always buy into a beautiful woman. But you know what? You gotta get out of relationships, man. Yo, if you're still here, man, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. But that's all I'm going to say about that for right now, man. If we go with the first scenario, no matter what, it leads to chaos. The level up content, again, you got to realize that's demonic content. It's going to make you behave like an actual demon. Because anytime you can operate as a person who does not care about other people, that's the issue. No more. So I got to say about that, man. 6 pounds dice, Mr. Lynn. If you need me, man, yo, we are out of here. Peace. All right, man.